When it comes to etching knife blades, I keep getting asked the same questions over and over. How do you actually use the Cricut program to create your stencils? And are you able to etch a stonewashed blade? So in today's video, I'll be answering both those questions.
When I'm using the Cricut, I first cut out on the stencil tape. And there's two different tapes that I use. I have the stencil tape. I also have a transfer tape. I'll go over that in a little bit. So on this one, there is a backing to it. You want to make sure you don't peel that off and put that directly on the mat. I did that once and I had to throw the mat away. It's so sticky that you just can't get it off without destroying it. So I'm going to put it in the top left-hand corner. This just makes it a lot easier if you do it up there. I do have this roller. If you don't have one of these, you can just use your hand to press it down. You just want to make sure you get it pressed down as tightly as you can. That way, the blade and the Cricut will cut it a lot easier. So I'm going to be doing a blank canvas. I'm just going to upload this 250 for some 4th of July knives. And I find it helps if you zoom in. You can see right now there's just white. And once I click on it, it turns into a checker. You want to make sure everything is that checkered look. If not, it's not going to cut it out right. And the black parts, you want to make sure you keep those black and only have the white parts as the checkered. The white parts are going to be what the blade cuts out, and the black ones it won't. They're kind of hard to see on the really small areas like the stars, so I just click on all of them just to make sure it's all how I want it. And I just do the single layer. For this kind of stuff, you don't need to do the other things, just for the knife stencils. Okay, so now we have it, and it's way too big. I think it's like 5 or 6 inches high, so I'm going to measure on my knife first to see how big I actually need to make it. So I measured it's about, I can go 1.25 inches. I'm going to bring it back just a little bit because I don't want it too close to the edge. So when I sharpen the knife, I'm going to lose a little bit. And I don't stretch it out wherever the width is. I just leave the width. The important part is just picking the height. So after you hit create, it's going to bring up this screen. You're just going to make sure you put it in the top left-hand corner. It usually puts it there, but you want to make sure that's where it is. After you connect your machine, then it's going to give you a couple options. I just leave it on the stencil vinyl. If you have something thicker than just the vinyl stickers, like you're using leather or something else, then you can apply different pressure. But for the knife stencils, I just leave it on just what it has. Then you're just going to put it in, hit the Cricut button, and just let it cut it out. This one, it's a pretty simple design. It ended up taking about 15 minutes to cut it out. After it's done, it's really hard to see in this picture. You can kind of see it. So I like to take it off the mat first before you start taking the pieces out. So this is the part that takes the longest. And you want to be really careful you don't lift parts up you don't need to lift up. And I like to leave the picture on my computer while I'm doing this so I can see which pieces I actually need to take out, and they'll be white on the computer. And usually they come out real easy. You can see on the two, I'm not having to do a whole lot of work. It just kind of goes. You just want to make sure nothing comes up that's not supposed to. So after you have all that taken out, then you can use your transfer tape. And transfer tape is for the stars or any small pieces. It'll just keep them all in place when you're transferring this onto your knife blade. Try doing it without it once, and it's such a pain without it. This is so much easier. So I just roll it again so it's nice and tight, and I'm holding a piece so it's easier to remove it when it's time. So now I need to get this blade ready. This is after heat treat. I'm going to finish grinding in the bevels and then getting it to whatever finish I want it to be. You don't want to decide later that you wanted your knife shinier. It's going to be too late, and especially this one because I'm going to be darkening the blade after the bevels are ground. So you just want to make sure it's exactly how you want it before you start doing your etching. Now the bevels are ground. Before I put it in the vinegar, I'm just going to clean it off, make sure there's no fingerprints or dust on it. I want to get a really nice vinegar etch on here. This is just distilled white vinegar. It's a weird color because I've used it once before on a knife. It kind of changes the color, but there's nothing else added to it. I'm just going to let this soak. I'm going to do 4 hours on the first soak, and then I'll clean it off a little bit, and I'll do another 4 hours, and it should be good. So here's after the first 4 hours. It looks dark, but it's always going to get a little bit lighter in the end. So I'm going to do it again. And now I'm going to start the stonewash. So I just have this tube, and it's full of rocks. I have some quartz in there and just some pebbles I found. I spray it with WD-40 just to help protect against rust if there's any moisture in there. And I shake it. It all depends on what kind of look you want. So for this one, I did 5 minutes. And then I looked at it and I needed a little bit more, so I did another 5 on top of that. Once you get it to the look you want, then spray it with WD-40. This will, again, just protect it against rust, and you'll be able to see the stonewash a little bit better this way. And if it doesn't look exactly how you want, you can put it back in and shake it up a little bit more. I let it air dry completely before putting on the stencil. You know, when I'm peeling the backing, I'm pushing down and away at the same time, making sure nothing's coming up on the backing. It's all staying on the stencil. And you want to make sure you place it exactly where you want it the first time. It's really hard to get off, and you'll probably ruin parts of it. And on the the transfer tape, I'm putting the rest of it on other parts of the blade I want to get etched.
Alright, so now the tape's on there, and the only thing that I'm worried about is when I peel the tape off, I don't know if it's going to peel some of that, the finish off from the Stonewash, so we'll have to see how that goes. Worst thing that can happen is I'll etch it, and I'll just have to put it in the vinegar. And I also don't know if, because of the Stonewash, if the electricity is going to work. It should, it's still metal, but I don't know if having that finish on there disrupts the charge on the steel, so we'll find out.
So what I found to work the best is half a cup of hot water, and I mix in 2 tablespoons of salt. And I mix it until no more will be dissolved. It doesn't matter if it's not all dissolved, you just want to make sure you have enough. So I'm going to be using cotton balls. I use a railroad spike just because the flat head is easy to push the cotton balls down. And the wood just helps, gives me something to hold on to. I'm also using this 12-volt battery charger. I think I got this at Walmart for about $20. So then I'm going to plug in the black cord onto the railroad spike, and the red one is going to clamp on to the blade. And while I'm doing this, I like to let the cotton balls soak so they're all ready to go once everything's hooked up. I normally use 3 cotton balls per area. On this one, I'm going to do 6 cotton balls per area because I want it to etch a little bit deeper, because I don't know what's going to happen with the Stonewash finish. So I'm worried it might not etch the same as on a normal blade. So I'm going to do double what I normally do. And as I'm pressing down, I don't know if you can hear it in the video, but I can hear the sizzling happening. And just see if it's working, you can check the back. You can see there is some of the design on there. So after I press down on the cotton ball, I kind of push it to the blade a little bit. And what I'm trying to do is clean off some of it. Kind of gets, the design kind of turns black, and it gets harder and harder to etch it. So if you can clean it off each time, you can do more etches before it stops working. And as I'm doing it, I can hear that when I'm getting towards the end, it's not sizzling quite as much because some of those areas are getting dirty. So after 6 cotton balls per area, it's looking really good. So now it's time to clean it up. So I just wash it, hot soapy water. And here's how it looks. And I'm still going to clean it up a little bit more. The WD-40 is going to help a lot. And after putting the WD-40 on, that's how it will look in the end. And it worked. I was worried it wasn't the etch wouldn't come out as good, but it looks really cool with the dark blade and then the silver etching. So for this knife, I'm using a different kind of red, white, and blue handle. This is from Pop's Knife Supply. I've never used it before. All the other 4th of July knives I made, I've gone with the Patriotic Kieranite handle scales. This one's a layered scale, and it's cool because you can, if you want more red showing or more blue, you can press down until you reach that layer. And so you can customize it a lot more this way. On the cure night handles I normally do for 4th of July, I use my buffer, and it turns out really good. But this is more like micarta, so I'm using boiled linseed oil. I'm giving it 3 coats, and it looks really good after it's done drying. If you guys have any questions about any part of the process, let me know in the comments. In my next video, I'm going to be quenching a knife in a liquid I've never tried before. I want to see if it has any different results. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in that video.